Yeah. Wow, Drew is really a broken man.
Quite a broken
I'm not trying to put that front out. Jamie's the wiener champ, and everyone knows it. You know it. You know it. You know it.
You know it.
Everyone knows it, and everyone needs to put some respect and a little bit of mustard on his name, okay?
Don't put too much mustard on it.
So, not too much. Yeah, don't be weird. But what is Last for Life? What is the foundation?
It's a money laundering scheme. That's easy. Oh, no, all right.
That was a joke. That was a laugh. You get it? They get it.
They get it. They get it.
Hardest street boys, hardest street boys, hardest street boys, it's the hardest street boys.
Like and subscribe. We have a huge episode planned for you, but we do want to ask you to please like and subscribe. The algorithm is brutal to us, so the more you share with your friends, like, comment, all that kind of stuff, it really helps us out. Consider becoming a patron on our Patreon.
Yeah.
That's where you can support us with a monthly subscription, $3 for early episodes, $5 for behind-the-scenes footage and early episodes, and then $50 a month for, we'll write you a whole song, we'll hang out with you, Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and don't forget to vote for us in Best of the Pine Belt, Signature Magazine, Festival South. We got to keep the belt, right? And also, if we do lose, you can pry that from our cold, dead hands. We're not giving it up, no matter what. We
There
don't
you
care.
go.
So, anyway. Oh, Jamie, we're back in the sweat lodge.
Yes, we are. Here we are, back at it, back in the saddle.
So, we have a portable AC unit, and we want to thank everybody who has offered to host us and all that. We haven't made a move just because this is a lot of gear, and we want the show to look the same. But apparently, parts are ordered, and we want to thank Emily Gillespie for really. We're joking about it, but I hope we're not throwing shade at Emily. Emily's the best. We love you, Emily, and thanks so much for taking care of that.
Yeah, thanks to the city of Hattiesburg Parks and Rec for even conceiving this thing with a lot of other people. But this is such a cool. I was just talking to somebody about the Art Center being a small business incubator. Very cool, and we appreciate the space.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. So, where have you been? What you been up to?
Oh, man, so many things have transpired in the last couple weeks. Where do I start? You know, I won a hot dog eating contest.
That's right. I filmed the whole thing, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I felt good about that.
Yeah, I did that right before I left town for a week. But, yeah, I ate 10 hot dogs in about 10 minutes, and I won a very unique trophy.
Yeah, it's not great, the trophy.
Yeah.
It's so not great, it's great. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah. Well, you should feel like a champion, because that's what you are.
I'm the one with the trophy, so there's that, but then almost it's like, that's my trophy.
Yeah. No, you, dude, how did it feel after eating 10 hot dogs in 10 minutes?
I didn't feel, I felt pretty bad, but I didn't feel that bad. Mm-hmm. I was no Joey Chestnut here. Mm. But 10 hot dogs in 10 minutes is still, and it was the buns, really. The buns were hard to get through. The dogs themselves were actually pretty good. They got Nathan's Hot Dogs over at SoPro, Chef Nofke. Mm-hmm. And, they were cooked quite well. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then you went to camp too? You volunteered at a camp?
I went to Camp Bratton Green, had a great week out there. It was senior high session. My friend Will Oakes and Walton Jones were the directors, and we had a great time. Shout out to everybody at Camp Bratton Green. Showboat pork and beans, 100% natural, 100% vegan. Showboat pork and beans.
Pork and beans. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a pretty busy week, but man, the best thing I think was going to see Royal Horses at the Thirsty Hippo.
Oh man, I missed that. I love the horses.
We sweated out like we're sweating it out right now. And dude, they didn't take a set break. They absolutely crushed it. Place was packed, which I love to see. And man, dude, that's national talent, man. National level talent. Like they're once they get over that hump, man, it's gonna be a big deal. They're so killer. They're so good, and you can tell it's their job.
Yeah, they share a space, in this here building, and I see them rehearsing all the time. They are true professionals. They're practicing all the time. I saw them a couple weeks ago, and they were just rehearsing and going through an entire Dark Side of the Moon album like start to finish. They were going to play Dark Side of the Moon front to back, and I was kind of blown away that they were just, oh yeah, just a couple days we're going to learn this entire album.
Yeah.
True professionals.
No, they're real good and good people, man. So nice. And you know, we say that a lot, like we're really into the people, but I mean, you just want them to do well, man. And they're killing it. They did some stuff that sounded a lot like Humphreys McGee. So to sound like, if you don't know Humphreys McGee, it's all Juilliard trained or Loyola. They went somewhere. They're from Chicago. Highly trained musicians, not easy to imitate. Or to be influenced by, and then put something out that's even similar to that. So really cool, man. Awesome. So happy for them, and also for the hippo, man. It's something about the hippo when it's hopping. You know, like you get that with like burlesque shows. You get that with, you know, you get bands coming through. Sometimes it's just like the music is great. It's not super packed. This was both. The music was great, packed. And so it was good to see. Certainly made me happy. And then Southern State Soccer playoffs are this week. Actually, when this posts, we'll have had first round of playoffs, which was Wednesday. But yeah, man, it's really cool that we have a semi-pro soccer team, like legit, like doing it, and got to have some friends come out to the game this past weekend, and.
Still an amazing space. I don't know, like people haven't taken a chance to look at this place. It's amazing. That's
why I'm like, you know, TY and JC, they brought their significant others and was like, man, y'all just come check out the facility. Like, even if you don't care about the sport, which they were really into the match too, which was really cool. It made me feel cool getting to like kind of share that with them. So. That's been awesome, man. I can't speak highly enough of the club because they've really welcomed me with open arms, and it's been very gratifying work. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been exciting,
and I'm hoping their playoff run can go well. You know.
Yeah. Let's go deep into the playoffs for sure. And that's cool about this Americanized version of soccer, where like regular season's over, but you have a whole another like second season. So 1 game season from here on out. And then, did some work for Southern Bone and Joint, which is really cool. Started a YouTube channel for them and getting to interview physicians. Dude, it's wild.
It is wild.
It's wild being in an exam room and, like, just getting to, like, really ask them whatever. Any kind of question, kind of, like, figure out, like, who these like, highly skilled surgeons are. So
do you have any injuries?
Dude, I am an injury.
Yeah?
Like, dude, it's hilarious. The work I've done so far for a brewery, a soccer club, and a sports medicine place. That's my life, right? Hanging out, playing soccer, getting injured. Like, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I have tons of injuries.
Yeah, so. I'm worried that if I were to go to Southern Bone and Joint, I would just like, oh, yeah, this is wrong, like, just like with my legs. You know,
yeah. Please help me. Yeah.
Like,
free
okay,
medical
this
advice,
knee
please.
and that ankle. And, oh gosh.
I try not to. Yeah, I keep it professional. I keep because same thing. If I start listing my injuries, we'd be there forever. It'd be 2-hour-long episodes.
They'd hook you up.
Yeah. Wow, Drew is really a broken man.
Quite a broken.
I'm not trying to put that front out. So anyway, but man, we have such a big episode. I really want to get to it because we have Ken Oliver, and then first 2-time guest. Sorry, St. Nelson. We're sorry. But we're very excited that it's Jamie Arrington.
Jamie Arrington.
He was the one true Jamie for about 10 minutes, and then we're like, oh, yeah, Jamie Ferris is the one true Jamie. But we don't have to get into that.
I don't know. I may have bumped up in the world.
That is true.
Ate a bunch of hot dogs.
You are Wiener champ.
That's true.
You're the Wiener.
I'm the big wiener.
Get it? Because, like, winner, and it sounds like you get it. You get it. All right?
I got it.
Jamie's the Wiener champ, and everyone knows it. You know it. You know it. You know it.
You know it.
Everyone knows it, and everyone needs to put some respect and a little bit of mustard on his name, okay?
Don't put too much mustard on it.
So not too much. Yeah, don't be weird. Yeah, don't be weird about it. Like, be normal. After this, Ken Oliver and Jamie Arrington of Last for Life.
Man, do we have a sponsor this week?
We do have a sponsor, but no AC, and today's episode is brought to you by
Community Bank.
Yes, that's right, Community Bank. Are you dreaming of starting your own business? You ready to remodel your home? Maybe you just need a well-deserved vacation. Whatever the reason, when you need some extra cash, Community Bank is here to help. Their comprehensive personal loan options are designed to ensure you achieve your goals in all areas of life. Let Community Bank help you on your path to success. Community Bank, a community you can count on. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Yes, Community Bank.
And hey, quit burying all your money, Jamie. Like, actually deal with a bank. You put it in the coffee cans, leaving it around town. I know you think that's going to be a fun scavenger hunt, but that's bad for you.
I call it geocaching with with money signs.
So your financial plan is just scavenger hunt?
I saw it in a movie.
Yeah, you really need help, like today.
What are you saying?
Like, Community Bank could really help you out.
Oh, okay. Laughs for life. It's Laughs for life. Who's on the show? Who's on the show? You already know. It's Kent and Jamie, yo. Yeah. Kent and Jamie, they're on the show. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Kent Oliver and Jamie Arrington are on the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, go.
Thanks, Jamie.
Wow. I feel.
No, we said thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. Well, we have Kent Oliver and Jamie Arrington representing Laughs for Life. How are y'all today?
Man, doing awesome. Doing great.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So I want to get right into it. I'm bad at small talk. It's an issue. I'm working on it. But not today. What is Last for Life? Tell me about Last for Life, because it's something that's huge. You know, you have a big event at the Sanger. Yep. Tickets sell out in like matter of minutes. But what is Last for Life? What is the foundation?
It's a money laundering scheme. That's
easy.
Oh, no, all right.
That was a joke. That was a laugh. You get it? They get it.
They get it. Last for Life. So Last for Life's been around for a few years now. We started in 2016, and it was really meant as a way to bring the community together in a really unique way, generate a lot of laughter, and at the same time raise a lot of money for a couple of beneficiaries that are near and dear to my heart, and one of those things that we've had a lot of fun with, to be quite honest. So each and every year we bring in a comedian that we feel brings a lot of attention to the area, and obviously fill up the Sanger and just have a good time with it. And so this year we are gearing up for yet another awesome show, July 29th down at the Sanger, and luckily I've got Jamie here because I don't know a ton about comedy, to be quite honest. Like, I got into this thinking, hey, this sounds like a pretty neat way to raise some money, generate some laughter. And then in a matter of minutes, I think somebody was like, well, you probably should reach out to somebody who actually knows something about that. And luckily Jamie's been that guy, and he's kind of helped me out along the way in making this I think a really cool deal for the city.
Yeah. So what's your role within this operation that's definitely not to launder money?
Definitely not to. It's to launder money to children and cancer research. I was going to say cancer victims. That doesn't really sound. No. Cancer research, children's hospitals, things of the like. So my role is, when we started up, I kind of helped with some things with as far as just credibility with agents and comedians, trying to let them know, hey, we've had an established comedy scene here. We know how to run a show. We know how to treat comics when they come through. But it's pretty much on cruise control now. Kent's gotten to where he just handles he knows what to do now. He's sharp. Someday he's going to write a joke and tell it on stage, but until that point, he handles a lot of the big boy stuffs. I'm there on game day, just making sure everything's going smooth inside the theater.
He is, I believe the actual term is master of ceremonies.
Master of ceremonies, yeah.
He definitely keeps us going in the right direction. And again, I think the big piece was very early on. We had to have something that kind of gave us credibility when speaking to agents, and this thought of, hey, Hattiesburg, we've hosted things like this before, and so that gave agents and managers a lot of confidence. And then really, once it's been amazing. Whenever we have folks come in, and we've had some great comedians over the years. So we had Frank Caliendo, we've had Keith Alberstadt, Nate Bargatze, Leanne Morgan, who's obviously coming back as the headliner this year. Really just had a lot of great folks, and every time they leave, they talk about how much they love Hattiesburg, the people, and a big part of it is kind of being able to host them the way that, really even more so than used to being hosted, which is a really cool thing.
Yeah, well, I always say like it's a real city if you have a comedy scene. You know, like it really is. The efforts that Jamie has put into Hub City Comedy is one of those, like, that's a labor of love, and there's not a lot of thank yous that go around. But something like that is definitely it's almost like an intangible that it adds to the city. And then this is like once a year you kind of get to. It's got to feel good to like kind of be reaffirmed, right? When you have like somebody like a Nate Bargatze, bro. Dude had one of the biggest Netflix specials ever last year. Hilarious guy. And then he actually wants to come to Hattiesburg more than once. Leanne Morgan, same thing. Like, that's got to feel pretty good, right, Jamie?
Absolutely. And Nate's one of those guys that you could tell. So Nate was the second comic we ever booked here prior to Laughs for Life. So I think he's been here like 4 or 5 times. And he was one of those that you could tell was going to be a big deal one day. And I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but I see that in James Austin Johnson, one of the comedians who's going to be on the show this year. He does the impressions on SNL. He's new to SNL. I feel like I told Kent when Kent was like pitching him as an option, I was like, we got to get him because we're not going to be able to. Like, dude he's going to blow up pretty big. So just seeing comics like that come through Hattiesburg, it's so awesome.
When you're doing this, right, you're going like, okay, how do I do something for the city that is unique? What's the motivation behind it? Like, why is cancer research important to you?
Sure. So it's a personal thing for me, and I'll not to belabor this topic, but I mean, back in 2015, I was diagnosed with a cancer called multiple myeloma. It's an incurable cancer, and so. But this community was so awesome from the very beginning and saying, we're here to support you the same way that, they support others when it comes to just any major event, to be quite honest. And so a part of this, truthfully, like part of my motivation from the very beginning was, all right, how do we raise some money for cancer research? But then at the same time, how do we also give back to the city that did so much for us, right? And so, the story again gets a little old, but honestly, it's one of these where I went several months in my family. I had 2 young daughters, very young daughters at the time, and so my wife and our girls, we went several months really without laughter being a part of our lives. Just the same way most people do whenever you go through a shock and a health scare like that, and so. This event kind of gave me some motivation towards that, but then it also generated, a lot of enthusiasm from the community, and then we've had an incredible collection of sponsors that have kind of stepped up along the way. So through, we've done this. I guess it'll be the 6th. I think it's the physical 6th. Show. We of course had the COVID year, and we still raised some money, some pretty significant money during the COVID year, but we weren't able to do a live show, obviously. We've through our first 5 live shows, we've contributed more than $840,000 to our beneficiaries. The way things are trending this year, our big goal is to clear the $1 million threshold as a whole heading into this year, and we're very close. I feel like we've got a really legitimate shot at getting there. We've had some great sponsors. Jones has stepped up this year to be our presenting sponsor, and they're doing some really cool things surrounding it. In fact, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but Jones Logistics is going to be delivering our block party before, and that's become an annual component to this event. We really tried to create not only just the comedy show itself, but this overall event that can generate enthusiasm from throughout the community. We've had musicians out on the street. We've had musicians prior to the show inside. We do some neat things related to kind of our VIP guests that have been kind enough to sponsor. So we really create kind of this downtown environment that I think is something that we can continue to build off of, and it's allowed us to obviously do what we ultimately wanted to do, which is raise a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you about Kent and kind of how we came together, because I think this is really an interesting perspective on how this event started off. So Kent, we had crossed paths in high school, didn't really know each other. Next thing I know, Kent gets cancer and he wants to start doing this comedy show. So we meet up, and Kent was always known as a great guy and somebody that was just overall good dude. So we met up, and he's like, okay, I want to have a show at the Sanger. I want to bring in Frank Caliendo, and I want to raise $100,000 for charity with all this. And I was like, oh man, this is like, God bless you. Like, I love your passion. This is what I was thinking. I was like, man, I'm going to do whatever I can to help this guy, because I think he's really awesome. I love the mission. But I was like, the most tickets I'd ever sold to an event prior to that was 354. So I was thinking like, okay, we got a 1,000-seat theater. We got to sell this out. It's like I'm going to work for it. I think it's a fun idea. It's great, but I had no idea that it was going to go as well as it had, and I didn't have any idea that it would the sustained success would be as good as it's been. And we get to the point to where we're selling out on the day tickets go on sale. It's really wild, and it's really a testament to Kent and everything he's put together and how he's been able to rally the community around this cause. I think it's been really, really tremendous for the Hub City.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That was really. I'm glad you shared that. That was really nice. Well, and it is great, and it's one of those. It's incredibly successful, I think, because the motives are pure, Yeah. And then I don't think you get that many people on board with something that like. The underlying motivation is less than honest.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the main thing, is that everybody's been touched by somebody with cancer. I mean, and especially in the last 2 years, really, you're starting to think about just any illness, right? You really, and Hattiesburg is a medical community too. There's a lot of physicians here, and so it's really brilliant. So once you raise the money, though, like where. You hear cancer research. Who does that go to?
Yeah, so believe me, when it comes to philanthropic efforts, I will tell you, one of my biggest focuses is making sure I know where those dollars are going to go, right? Whether it's, and I feel like with any charitable event, like that should always be like kind of everybody's, number one focus is making sure they have a really good understanding of where those dollars are going. And so each year we've, in the case of, we support the International Myeloma Foundation. Each year we've awarded a grant, various amounts, 60,000, 80,000, kind of based off the year, and it's gone directly to a very specific project. I love knowing exactly what somebody is researching related to this disease, but at the same time, kind of knowing that it's not just going into some fund that can be used with discretion by a charitable organization. Like it's very clearly assigned to that. In the case of Children's of Mississippi, which is our second beneficiary this year, we partnered with them the last few years, and I'm so excited about what they're doing. So a few years ago, we were kind of hit by some close friends that had unfortunately spent far too much time at Children's of Mississippi because their daughter had experienced some things at birth and ultimately had to go through multiple surgeries, and so we said, you know what, this is more than just cancer. Like this is, when you have a health event, it's a blow to you, and it's really tough to kind of have those smiles be part of your life. And so we said, well, let's do something there that's really focused on generating those smiles. And so we partnered with them on what's called the Last for Life Art and Music Therapy Lounge, and it's kind of a child life space where they're going to be focusing on some really creative methods, improving the space. The space, if you had been there before, you walked in and you knew it was 20 years old, 30 years old. And so we've partnered with them on some really creative ideas. They're starting construction actually this summer on that. And so we're thrilled about that. And the final piece is we support the Forrest General Cancer Center. So we felt like, hey, the community's coming together. Obviously, we're supporting this research happening in around myeloma. We're supporting, this facility in Jackson, but we also wanted to make sure that we were, supporting the things that are happening right here in Hattiesburg. A lot of people don't realize. So the Forrest General Cancer Center does a ton of research. I mean, like it's, in terms of cancer research in the state, it's on up there. And in fact, it may be the largest producer of research when it comes to cancer in the entire state. A lot of trials run through there, a lot of different things. And so we've been fortunate to partner with them. And in doing so, some really specific things. This last year, I'll give you a great example. So whenever you're going through a trial on cancer research, like it's important that it's efficient, right? I mean, you don't want to be tied up and waiting on the next person or the next facility to be able to take you in. Well, one of the things that for every trial somebody has to do is has to get an EKG. And so before, they would come into the cancer center, they'd talk about the trial, and then they'd get scheduled at another facility in order to actually conduct that. And we said, well, how do we make that more efficient? So we actually Last for Life purchased the EKG machine for the cancer center. So that's in-house as a result of what we've been able to do with Last for Life. And as a result, for the patient, it becomes a much more efficient process and going ahead and getting them started on what could be a life-altering, a life-saving type of trial. So that's kind of the motivation behind where we actually support our beneficiaries and the funds and how they're being used.
Man, hearing you talk about that too, like I love that we're huge fans of being silly but having a purpose behind it, you know? And I love that on the face of it, it's let's all laugh and just have a good time. Yeah. But that's what it's really about. It's really about something deeper, and it gives you like, does you feel like it gives you a sense of purpose?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm really proud this year. So whenever we first started, my girls were, and you had met them at the time. I think it was 2, and when we first started that project, Last for Life, I think the other one was maybe just turning 1 and 3 maybe at the time. Well, so each year they've kind of seen this progress and evolve, and it's been kind of neat. They ask me questions about it, and we're very honest and open and talking about hey, health events that impact people's lives, and so they've seen kind of the impact we're going to make, and they've been begging for the last few years to be part of the show, and so they will be present for the first Last for Life that they've been able to attend in person this year, and so everything. You talk about somebody writing a joke to be on stage. My girls have written a couple of jokes to be on stage, and so we're excited to be able to. So now
you're getting bumped.
I'm getting bumped. Yeah. Charlotte is the cutest. Like
Party Street Boys exclusive.
It's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Totally understandable.
But yeah, no. I mean, you talk about having a purpose. Like it's pretty easy to have that purpose whenever they see kind of the impact that's making. So and again, love to talk about the comedians we've got coming in.
We're going to do that, but we're in the Sweat Lodge, you can tell. So we're going to take a short break. So after this, back at the Sweat Lodge with Kent and Jamie. Okay, all right, we're back with, and I'm wearing the same shirt I was wearing earlier.
Really? It looks a little different.
Anyway, back at the Sweat Lodge.
You've got an Adidas shirt on and Nike shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I borrowed this. This is a cool shirt I borrowed from my dad.
Old Navy pants.
No, these are Built pants, actually. Built Basics. Follow me on Instagram. Okay, so let's talk about this year's show, right? Because we get to be involved. We're really excited. Yeah. But what can people expect when they go downtown to the Singer?
Yeah, so starting at 5 outside the Singer. So this is before the comedy show even gets started. We're going to do a block party out front, hosted by the Hardy Street Boys. The Hardy Street Boys are going to become the Forrest Street Boys for just a period of time, and going to be hosting an awesome block party. We mentioned before, delivered by Jones Logistics.
Mm-hmm. I've been meaning to ask you about that. Yeah. What is logistics?
That is a great question, and you will be able to ask the folks at Jones Logistics yourself during the block party.
Yeah, because I know they do. They have the new headquarters in Midtown. That's a big deal for the city, and they do a lot of great work. I have actually lots of friends that work for Jones, but as someone who's very poor at logistics, I just want to know how they get stuff done, basically. So we'll be able to ask them
how they keep up with the Joneses,
for sure.
And I'll have a microphone so I can ask them very pointed questions. You can. Submit your questions for Jones Logistics, and we'll ask them.
They've been awesome partners. So they're gonna have so much stuff out there. You're gonna be shocked. It's they're actually bringing a truck into the street for folks to check out, and they'll have they'll actually be providing fans. So if you want a handheld fan before you head into the Singer, which might be a good idea based off of some past experience, we would recommend that. But awesome partners, and excited to have them on board. So all right, so that's going on outside. Y'all are entertaining folks throughout that block party. Then the show itself starts at 7:30. People walk in, and prior to the actual comedic part inside, we've got 18 Miles playing on the stage in the Singer.
I thought we had Kenny Loggins.
Well, we tried.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we did Loggins and Seeger, and both turned it down. So that said. And other folks were unavailable locally.
Rolling Stones are nothing. No, that's cool.
So we're excited about 18 Miles again on the
8 Mile cover band
on the stage. So we'll have some folks there, and then the show gets started. So we've got 3 incredible, 4 counting Jamie. So Jamie's.
I was gonna just see where you went with that.
and your daughters.
And my daughters,
too.
yeah. So Keith Alberstadt is coming back. Keith Alberstadt was here a few years ago, opening for Bill Engvall, and then I think he did it again for Nate. For Tig.
No. Caliendo. He was with Caliendo and he was with Engvall.
Yeah. So we've had that's right. He did it. He's a great guy. Great guy from Nashville originally, went to Vanderbilt, and he's in New York now. Got two awesome girls himself, and it's funny to see like over the years when he first started coming down here, it was his comedy was more about young, in some case single life or early married life, and then now it's kind of evolved into the kids running wild. Like it's kind of funny to see how his comedic life has evolved. Then he's followed up by James Austin Johnson, again from SNL.
Yeah.
Super excited about what he's going to bring. I think that a lot of folks are going to be really impressed by that level of talent. And then the sweetest, nicest, funniest person in the world, Leanne Morgan, is going to be back as our headliner. Leanne's popularity around here is just insane. I mean, honestly, you mentioned last year we had Nate and Leanne, and it sold out in like 7 minutes. Sure enough, we announced Leanne coming back as a headliner. Same thing this year. First day, tickets go on sale. All 1,000 seats sold out, and I still on a daily basis get people asking about tickets. So
we talked about this last year because y'all were kind enough to invite us to see the show. It was so exciting. I'm a huge Nate Bargatze guy, and I didn't know. I knew of Leanne Morgan, but I didn't know her act.
Yeah.
And then let me tell you, when she had the entire crowd in the palm of her hand, and I have not seen that with many people ever. When she said "yo," like the place just buzzed. Yo, and like I was like saying, like I just want to be friends with her.
Yeah.
Like, but she's also a killer.
She is,
and it's that style of comedy where she's like really nice, and you're just like, yeah, I bet you make incredible biscuits, but you're also like way funnier than anybody I know too.
Yeah.
Like it's just nuts, the mixture that is truly unique and truly special. So
her relatability is off the charts, and again, you mentioned being pure and genuine earlier. Like she is so genuine, it really is. Like she is, I could call her a friend of Last for Life, and she was excited to come back. She's on a huge tour. I mean, theater tour throughout the country. The Big Panty Tour is the tour, but yeah. So she's done 6 months of shows everywhere. Took a little break, and then we're going to be the first show kind of in this back half of the year before she hits another. I want to say it's 50 or so cities. So again, really lucky to have her back, and excited about kind of the level of just enthusiasm people have for her.
And I don't think we've talked about this yet, but following Leanne, we've got the Hattiesburg Patriot. So it's going to be like. Just a general progression there.
And that's the type of high quality content you get from any comedy event in Hattiesburg.
Right,
yeah, that's
only available to subscribers.
And your live please send a heart. Yeah. Well, dude's he's got more likes than us.
No, absolutely. I give him credit.
God bless him.
But yeah, so that's gonna be fun. Do you get to like enjoy it though? I feel like that's one of those where you get all these people, you have all this going on.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. It's so great for the city, but there's so much responsibility. Do you get to like sit there and actually watch the show?
I'll jump in on this one.
Don't ask.
There's a huge difference between Kent before the show and Kent after the show. Kent after the show is like the loosest. Like I don't think he's even close to being ready to go to sleep. Kent before the show is just like, all right, let's go. So
So I've tried to get better about delegating some things, and we've got actually a really good team of folks helping me out this year on that. So my wife would tell you that it probably is there's some stresses that come along with it, but again, we at the end of the day we all, and we've talked about this as a family, we say, listen, it does create some stress that probably it feels unnecessary at times, but then you remember kind of the purpose behind it too. So there's there's an element of, and gosh, it's I think Jamie can speak to this too, standing there on the stage and kind of seeing those folks, that are seeing the laughter that's coming, or hearing the laughter that's coming, seeing the folks that are just, really just eating up anything Leanne's putting out there, anybody else. You can't help but just kind of be proud of that moment, and know it's worth that effort.
And I ask that because, once again, something that looks silly on the face of it that is designed for people to enjoy. Right. A lot of people, and you don't want to remind people, but I do think it's important that there's a lot of work that goes into it, and there's a lot of effort, and even with like comedians, to get enough material to be funny, it's a grind. It's an art form, and you have to love it to work hard enough to get even decent at it. And you have people who are really good And Hattiesburg is incredibly fortunate to have an event like this, especially, having a theater like the historic Sanger Theater. It's really cool.
Too.
It feels like it's kind of like a time warp, isn't it? When you get in there,
It is.
So what's the future of like Last for Life, right? Is it one of those where you think like long term we want to have, these names come through Hattiesburg, or I want to raise this amount of money, or is it just very much like in the now, trying to get it done this year?
Up to this point, it's kind of been in the now, and a goal from the very beginning was, once we started to see the momentum, we knew $1 million was to me a meaningful number. Not that honestly, any bit of money would be a positive thing, but honestly, that was one of those things that at a certain point really stood out. Long term, I'd love to be able to have others that are just as involved, if not more so. In fact, we've talked with folks about how can we make this bigger and better in the future by involving more folks in Hattiesburg, whether it's businesses, corporations, or individuals. I think there's some ways to do that. So I will say for me personally, I would like to focus more on the family probably in the long haul, but I'd love to be able to see this event continue to live on.
Yeah. I think. If you build it, they will come, right? And that you've already kind of, it feels like you've already kind of done the hard work, right? There's an infrastructure there. There's people on board. Yeah. And I really do feel like the sky is the limit. We're super excited to even be thought of to be involved in it. So we appreciate you guys letting us be involved, because that's going to be a good time. It's going to be sweaty. You ready, Jamie?
I am ready. I'm very ready. Yes, I am ready.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He sounded like
I can't wait. Block party.
Wait, is that sarcasm?
No.
You're genuinely ready.
I'm genuinely ready for this.
It felt like a I don't know, really tepid Ole Miss fan. Like, are you ready?
I thought he was just doing different takes, and then he was going to cut the one that he liked the most.
What's funny is like he thinks that there's only one version. Everyone saw all of it. That's all in. Yeah. I'm getting real lazy with
Prepare
that.
yourselves.
No, it's gonna be fun, man. We're looking so forward to it. Which weekend? What's the specific date?
Yes. So it's Friday, July 29th. So we are right about 2 weeks away, and it's gonna be a great night downtown.
Yeah.
You do not have to have a ticket to come to the block party. So if you just want to come down, enjoy some entertainment, see these guys, have a good time. There's going to be tents and fans and other things to try to keep you somewhat cool. And be part of the festivities, even if you aren't able to come inside the Sanger for the actual show.
Yeah, Massive's going to be DJing, and I'll be asking pointed questions to Jones Logistics officials.
There will be beverages served.
Can you turn your mic down a little bit on the?
Yeah,
it's loud as
beverages. I couldn't see it on the line. I don't know.
It's there. Okay. It's good.
Beverages will be served.
I'm not cutting any of this out.
But
yeah, it's going to be a good time. Great time to be downtown. So July 29th, Last for Life, Historic Sanger Theater. Kent, Jamie, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
This was great. This was great. Jamie Massengale, can you play us out, please?
Yeah. Yeah. Keith and Jamie, the jokes they really slay me. Leanne Morgan, she's coming to town. Sanger Theater is where it's going down. It's Last for Life.
These are nice. Hey, thank you, by the way.
It's the Last for Life.
Appreciate you, dude.
We gonna be in the street before the show, and you don't need a ticket to show up for that. That's right.
Yeah.
Meet me in the street. I might play this beat.
With the 4th Street Fellas. There you go. That night, right?
There you go.
Yeah.